Welcome to Moose Jaw RC. I am Joe, I'm your host, and today we're going to look at the Vanquish Products Currie HD44 VS4-10 Axle housing. But before we begin, thank you for watching and hitting that like button, comment, and subscribing. Hit that notification and let's get going with it. I got my hands on these. And with these axles, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to put them on. I wasn't really looking to do a build, but then I was finishing up my VS4-10 Fordyce and thought, well, a Jeep Willys truck has more of a HD44 style than you would see the F10 Phoenix axle housing. So, to be as scale as we can be, I thought, why not? Let's throw them on the Fordyce. With this, you gotta understand, it's just a housing. So you have to order the other parts, such as the actual axles and the spur and pinion, the bearings, and the little tidbits here and there. I'll have a list of those part lists that I got from Vanquish, so you can put your HD44 axles together. So with this, let's put it together. I'm gonna do a little time-lapse thing. I'm not gonna quite go into the how-to of putting axles together. I have to say, I enjoy putting axles together. They've always gone pretty well. It's been a while since I put a kit together, so we'll see how we do. But it's really self-explanatory. Let's put them together.
So let's do this thing!
So we start off with the rear axles here, which I always tend to think is easier. And it was, until I was putting the bearings in the bearing retainers for the, right there, for the axle. But I was putting them upside down. There, with the power of editing, you can see I put them in the right way. A little grease, not too liberal, but not too skimpy. And then, of course, adding a little hardware to hold the diff gear in place. And now putting the barrels of lockouts on, and had some trouble with the anodized parts and getting the bearings in there, but I wiggled them, they got in. And we're starting on the front axle. Applying the red Loctite to the hardware for the spur gear, which is in the instructions. Pretty good idea. And again, back into putting bearings in, squeezing them in with the anodized. This is why I always do the back first, because the front with the steering and the knuckles and everything else kind of, I don't know. I always like to do it second instead of first. I really do enjoy, though, putting axles together. Probably the fastest, easiest, and very satisfying step to take first. And voila, there we go, all together. And with that, we are done. We put the HD44 axles together and it went pretty well. I have to say, I was a little bit out of practice myself, putting the bearing housing containers, whatever, braces, in the wrong way, and had to reverse and go back. And I would have to say, fitting in some bearings into some of the anodized parts and everything, you had to do a little bit of wiggle room and so forth in that. The only other thing I can say is that I probably am going to look into the Vanquish high clearance rod ends, the kind of angled ones, only because there is some binding on that with the regular ones, and you can see there's some damage that I caused by trying to force it over and everything, and that's on me. And I think that will help clear that up a little bit and so forth. Even though with the articulation, it's not binding or anything like that. It's just maybe more of a peace of mind for me. So other than that, they look great. They look amazing. I don't know. And again, you gain a little bit more clearance with a straight axle. And you got a Currie street cred, dirt cred, road rock cred if you want with that as well. So other than that, is the HD44 for you? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Why wouldn't it be, right?
we're gonna have to do a part 2 video of this. I'm wanting to do another recap on the Fordyce here on my paint job that I did and so forth for another video that comes soon. So with that, I think we'll save with a running video with this, looking at the straight axle kit, how I really kind of converted here with electronics I Pixel, and then also the paint theme, and then also the HD44 axles. So there you go. Thanks again for joining Moose Jaw RC. Please hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheeseburgers and fries. And goodbye.